We're going to take a look at ratios and proportions. Alright, so go ahead in that last tab, type in ratios, rates, and proportions. And then you're going to pause the video and copy this down. Pause the video and copy all of this down. Okay, so what is a ratio? A ratio is a comparison of two numbers by division. It can be written in one of three ways. As a listening check, color in the O in the title ratio, only the O. So let's take a look at an example. Let's say we had 3 circles and 4 boxes. How can I write that as a ratio? Well, there are 3 circles to every 4 boxes. So the first way is you can write it in words. 3 circles to the word 2, 4 boxes. That's the first way. The second way you could write it is using a colon. So you can say 3 circles and then colon 4 boxes. And the third one, the most common way of actually writing this is as a fraction. 3 circles and then 2 4 boxes. So 3 circles over 4 boxes, and the order matters as a fraction. So the word 2, a colon, or a fraction. So let's take a look at an example. Out of 248 seniors, 112 are boys. What is the ratio of boys to total number of seniors? All right. Numbers must be written in the order requested. The order that it's asked for is what you have to put down. So let's see, what is the question? What is the ratio of the boys to total number of seniors? So boys comes first and then total number of seniors. So write boys. So how many boys are there? There are 112 boys. So write down a B for boys. 2, how many seniors? To number of seniors. How many seniors are there? 248. S for seniors. So you can write it in the word 2, okay? Or you can write a colon, or you can write it as a fraction. 112 boys on the top over 248 seniors on the bottom, because the order matters. All right, let's take a look at another example. The question is length to width. So find the length. It's 8 feet long. And then you can say the word 2. And then the width is 6 feet. Or you could write it as 8 colon 6, or as a fraction 8 over 6. So 3 ways of representing the same thing. All right, well, let's talk about an equivalent ratio. Equivalent ratio is 2 ratios that express the same relationship between numbers. Okay, so there'll be 2 ratios and they have the same relationship between numbers. And you'll see what I mean in the examples. So here's a question: are the ratios equivalent? So remember the 3 ways to write it, and there are also 3 ways to figure out if they're equivalent. So I'm gonna, from this point forward, I'm gonna use the fraction rule. So order matters. 5 over 18, 20 over 45. The first way you can do it is you can divide. So do 5 divided by 18, you get 0.27 repeated. And that dash on the top means repeated. 20 divided by 45, you get 0.4 repeated. That dash on the top means repeated. Are those equivalent? Equivalent means the same. No, they're not. So are those 2 ratios equivalent? No. The second way to check is you could simplify. So what goes into 5 and 18? Nothing. What goes into 20 and 45? 5 does. How many times does 5 go? 4 times, and that 9 times. Is 5 over 18 the same as 4 over 9? No, it's not. So no, these ratios are not equivalent. The final way you could check is by cross multiplying, which is, I think, the one we're going to stick to. So again, you write down the ratio, and then you cross multiply. It's just like an x. You draw an x. You do 5 times 45 and then 18 times 20. You just put that in the calculator. So 5 times 25 is 225. And 18 times 20 is 360. And are those 2 numbers equivalent? No. So these 2 ratios are not equivalent. So they're one of 3 ways to check it. You just pick the one you like and go with that. I think we're just going to stick with cross multiplying. All right, let's take a look at an example. Remember, order matters. So your setup has to be the first number over the second number. First number over the second number. All right, so let's check it by dividing. So just take your calculator, divide. 4 divided by 2 is 2. 20 divided by 14 is 2. Those 2 numbers are the same, so yes, they are equivalent. Second way you could do it is by simplifying. What goes into 4 and 2? 2. How many times are going into 4? Twice, and into 1 once. What goes into 28? 7 4 times, and 7 to 14 2 times. What else goes in that? 2. 2 times in 4 and 2 times and once in 2. So it's 2 over 1 equals 2 over 1. Yes, it is. And again, the last way to do it is cross multiply. So you just draw your x. So you'll do 4 times 14 equals 2 times 28. Pull out your calculator, punch it in. You get 56 equals 56. Is that the same number? Yes, it is. So you don't have to do all three ways, you just pick one. This is a listening check. Circle the 5 in example 5. Proportions, if the ratios are constant or have the same unit rate, then they are proportional. Okay, so this all has to do with ratios, but they're just different ways of the question being asked. The ratios are constant or have the same unit rate. So order matters. Anything in ratio, order matters. I can't stress that enough. Order matters. Okay, and it's very, very simple. Underline the words that have numbers, okay, as well as the units. Underline everything. Okay. Now, once you underline it, take it in that order. So let's say first thing I see is 1,000 square feet. I'm gonna write that down. It is equal to 2 hours. Now, because order matters, I'm going to say that's feet squared, and that has to also be hours because the order matters. It has to go feet squared, then hours. Now I find the other numbers. So what other number am I given? I'm given 3,500 square feet. So I put that with the feet squared. So what I'm looking for must be the hours. So you set up the proportion, you cross multiply, and then divide. This is a listening check. Color in order matters. So remember I said there are many ways of doing that as long as the order stays the same. So let's say we're going to start off with 1,000 feet squared, and then want to put it over 2 hours. So it doesn't matter, we can write it like that, right? As long as the second ratio, I go feet squared over hours, and then fill in the numbers. What other number do we have? 3,500 feet squared. So that goes with the feet squared. X goes with what's left. And I'm going to show you that they're both the same thing. So go ahead and cross multiply. All right, so you're going to get 1,000 times X equals 2 times 3,500. This is a listening check. Put a box around the word or, and that's going to be 1,000x equals 7,000. 2 times 35 equals 7,000. Divide both sides by 1,000, and that just 3 zeros cancel. So leave an x equals 7 hours. Don't forget the unit. Unit is very, very important. So remember, we're looking for x hours. All right, now let's do the same thing on the second one. So cross multiply and divide. You're going to get 1,000x equals 7,000 plus 2 times 3,500. Divide both sides by 1,000. You're going to get x equals 7 hours. So it doesn't matter which way you set it up, as long as you put feet squared with feet squared and hours with hours, whether that's horizontally or what. Let's take a look at another example. All right, again, underline everything with numbers. Bam. Okay. Now let's set it up. 7 cups, so I'm going to write 7 cups goes with 4 loaves. That means I have to write cups underneath that and loaves underneath that. Now I just fill in what I have left, 35 cups. Cross multiply and divide. So 7 times x equals 35 times 4, which is 140. Divide both sides by 7 to get x by itself. You're going to get x equals 20 loaves. So just remember the setup is once you write the first sentence down, whether you're putting it as a fraction or cross, you make sure the second one you do the same. Now it's going to get a little complicated, but it's the same idea. Underline every single thing with numbers. Okay. Then let's start writing it down. We've got 212 miles. Is equal to 35 miles for every 1 gallon. So 35 miles for 1 gallon per, and by the way, when you see for every gallon or per, it means divide. Okay, so you see per or for every 1 gallon means divide. So 1 gallon. And don't forget to put this, because you can have 1 apple or a apple. So a gallon. Then what else am I given? I'm given that if it does 12 trips and it's gonna, how much is it gonna cost in gas? That's dollars. If the gas is $3.60 per 1 gallon, that means over 1 gallon. Per means divide. This is all information. So let's see what I can put. I can see that I got miles and miles. So obviously underneath that I have to put what? Gallons, because that's in the denominator of the other, right? So I'm going to find x gallons. Cross multiply and divide. I'll find the number of gallons it takes to drive 212 miles. So 1 times 212 and 35x. This is a listening check. Color in per divide under example 7. X by itself, so x divided x is equal to 6.057. And now look, do not round until the end of the question. So you're going to keep this whole number. Do not round, because then it throws off your answer. Alright, so x is 6.057 blah 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 gallons. Okay, you also need to make sense of what these numbers mean. Okay, so I've just found how many gallons he uses for 212 miles. But how many trips is he going to make? He's going to make 12 trips. So I'm going to multiply that by 12. That's going to give me the number of gallons he's going to use the entire year. So keep track of what you're doing. So that's the entire year he's going to use 72.68 blah 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 gallons. Now here comes another proportion, right? So if that's the gallons, I have a gallon and I also have a dollar sign, which means the question must be how many dollars. So gas, how much the dollar sign gas costs. So let's set up that proportion. So I'm just rewriting what I have on top there. And then it's going to be X because I don't know what that is, or use Y actually. And then the gallons per year is on the bottom. Then we're going to cross multiply and divide again. So 3.60 times that whole number. Remember, use the entire number. Is that equals, just use Y. 1 times Y, which is Y. So in dollars and cents, you obviously have to round that. That 8's going to make it go up by 1. So it's going to be $261.67. So make sure your answer makes sense. That's pretty much it. So let's practice.